Hello fellow LEGO addicts, I hope you're all doing super well. This is Johanna from High Tea Toys, and today I am making a video that I have literally been promising for months now, and that is how to start a LEGO city. This topic is a very popular one and has been covered by plenty of people before, but I thought I'd lean into it a little bit myself and kind of talk about my own experience of starting a LEGO city and what I think you need to start one, which, spoiler alert, is very little. So let's get into it. So as you can see behind me, my LEGO city is a little bit unusual to most people's LEGO cities. I haven't got a lot of tabletop space in this room. It's what the English call a box room, so it's literally like I can pretty much touch like the walls either side if I spread out, so it's not very big. So there wasn't very much like real estate tabletop space available here. Let's talk about wanting to start a city, which if you cast our mind back to like December of last year, so a good 8 months ago, that's kind of where I was. So when I started going into the LEGO hobby, I was very interested in Harry Potter, and that was kind of my main focus. I was going to recollect all the Harry Potter LEGO. But when you kind of dive into a hobby, I think it's really easy to kind of be swept away by distractions and new things and exciting things. And especially when you dive into the like Apple fandom on Instagram and on YouTube, you will see a lot of people with incredibly massive, super impressive cities. So like Brixie's city especially was the one that I saw a lot of, and I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing. When I bought my first modular, I still hadn't really decided that I was starting a LEGO city. I bought Assembly Square just because I thought it was an amazing building and I was really excited to kind of figure out if that was something I really liked. Only really slowly after that, when I had acquired my second modular, the Parisian restaurant, I decided that maybe it'd be fun to kind of add a park in between. I think parks are fantastic mocks that you can do if you're starting a city to kind of make it feel a little bit bigger. And then when the road plates came out in January 2001, I kind of thought, oh, do you know what? Let me buy some road plates, because if I added some roads in front of the modular buildings, it would kind of feel a little bit more like a street. I didn't even have that problem that everybody was talking about, how the roads don't connect to the base plate, because I didn't really mind that they didn't connect. And actually now, on the third level of my city, I started using a mills type system, which is the first time I've done that in my city, which basically means that I can play with height if the modulars versus a canal and versus some walkway, which is really fun, and that's a new challenge for me. And maybe if I really love it on the top floor, maybe I will start doing that for other modulars. So if you're anything like me, you probably will have seen all those really amazing, beautiful big cities and like felt minorly like intimidated, because I think when you enter the LEGO hobby, it can be a little bit like, well, they have so much stuff, like how can I ever do that? However, I think what my city kind of demonstrates, and I hope, at least I hope it does that, is that you don't need a huge amount of space in order to make something really special. I obviously know that realistically at this point I do have a lot of LEGO, which probably at this point also will feel to some people like, well, yeah, that's not attainable to me. This is obviously a collection that's been growing over like a year, which is still only a really short amount of time. I totally appreciate that. But basically, these are the few points that I think you should take away from this. Point 1, you can start with any size. If you have 3 buildings from an Ninjago set that you like, start with those. They're a great way to start. If you haven't got road plates, build some roads. Or don't have roads, maybe have a path instead, just so people can walk. The second thing is adding details to a city will really make it feel alive. So actually tiling pavements and adding trees and bushes and like little flower pots everywhere, and especially minifigure scenes will really help add life to a city and will really make it feel more complete. Even if that's only a small scene, it will still look really good, especially in photographs. I think that's like a major key that I found with my city. When I started adding the flowers, that's when it would start to feel finished. Thirdly, don't be afraid to try things. Things may not be perfect straight away. Maybe you try to make a tree and it doesn't look right and you have to try 20 times before it looks good. That's just what happens, and that makes you a better builder. So if you have a vision in your head and it doesn't quite work out straight away, that's not an issue. Like, just keep trying. As I said before, like I must have redesigned this park about 20 times. It just kept not being right, like it just kept not being something that I was proud of. So I had to keep working on it, and eventually I found a way that I actually really liked. But it took a really long time, and that's fine. Like, a city is a continuous work in progress. Point 4, don't feel like there's any expectations for your city. Your city is your own thing. Like, do with it what you want. If you want to add flying dragons as your main form of transport, like, go for it. If there's only flying scooters in your city and no roads at all, go for it. If you only want boats, go for it. If you want houses that are basically tree houses, like the elf set, go for it. Like, do what you want. If you don't have modulars, that's fine. You can still call it a city. This is Lego. It's a building tool. It's for creating your own vision. There is no rules in that sense. You can just do what you want. And yes, it's amazing to look at all these cool people that have like beautiful Lego cities, but that doesn't mean that yours has to look like that. You can do what you want. I would love to see all of these things come true. And if you don't have every single brick right now, that's cool. Just have half-finished buildings for now, because over time you'll probably continue working on them. If you only have a small budget, that's also fine. Just start small. A few bricks here and there can really help. And then lastly, and I think this is something that's really important to me, is no space is too small. Like, you can have a Lego city pretty much anywhere. As you can see behind me, I'm using a small table, and when I wanted more room, I just added freestanding shelves above it to continue. And yes, technically my minifigures can't get from one level to the other, but hey, magically off screen somewhere they could, in my mind anyway. So there is different levels to my city, but that's totally fine. Like, that's the space I have and that's how I work. There is a third level to my city, for crying out loud, that I can't even fit on the camera because it's such a random place. But that's the only way I can keep building my city, and actually that's really fun. Like, working with limitations in a way can be really creative and can be really fun, because you're kind of being forced to create buildings within a limited space. I think sometimes when you have limitations on your creativity, you can create the best things because you're being forced to think outside the box. So don't feel like because you only have a small bedside table in your room that you have available to use, that you can't create a city. Just create a small city. Whatever you may have in mind, like, you can totally achieve it. It's just, it may just need some time, or maybe a lot of time, depending on how grandiose your plans are. To add more details to my city, I have to say that using the pick-a-brick wall in the Lego stores is really fantastic. It's a great way to just get some bricks. But if you haven't got a Lego store near you, then Bricklink is amazing. If you're an Ethel, like, it's great to order specific bricks you may need from there. But if you may be not wanting to go online to order specific bricks, a really good way to get a lot of cheap bricks is by buying bulk loads. Like, there is probably always somebody on Facebook Marketplace getting rid of a bulk of Lego that's just from their child that they don't want to play with anymore. And yeah, it may not be complete sets, but it's a bulk of Lego. I know that I'm obviously speaking from a point of privilege where I've had the budget to be able to buy the sets that I've wanted. But still, like, I would have loved to do loads of other things to the city, but at the moment there is always a monthly consideration of what can I do, what is sensible to the budget, what is a good way of using my money. No matter what your budget is, there's probably always going to be a trade-off and a limitation. And sometimes, actually, if you have a lot of space and a lot of money, that can be really overwhelming too, because all of a sudden there's a lot of space to fill. So there we go. I hope that was fun. I hope you liked that video. It's a little bit different to what I normally do. Basically, I feel quite passionate about this, and it's such a, like, the city is just something that brings me so much joy. And it's just something that I want to spread to as many people as I can, because if this makes me so happy, like, it must make other people quite happy too. Also, if you've been wondering about the light, I actually had to film this video in the evening, and I had to use my new ring light to kind of make sure that you could see me. So if my glasses were reflecting the ring light a lot, I'm sorry. It's just kind of working within the limitations, because I wasn't organised enough to film during the day, but I think it worked alright. It's just my glasses. Basically, if I wasn't blind, this would be much easier. Hopefully by the end that you see this video, I would have edited this into a sort of cohesive story, because whilst I was filming this video, this was a bit of a mess because I just kind of kept on rambling about my thoughts, which weren't always very organised. On this city theme, there will be more updates on the city coming, because there's always things going on. There's grand plans for the third level that we're focusing on, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, if you want to support me and this channel, you can become a member. You'll get access to the Discord and various other perks, and you'll be helping me continue making videos, which is super very appreciated. So thanks for everybody that is already a member, and I will see you all in the next video, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Goodbye. How do? Hey, there is a video there, and also there. Look, 2 videos. Wow, what would you want to watch? Go click it.